All right, I got this time around. Nice. There you go, Gerald. All right. Second time is a charm. Second show in a row. That's really not something I want to keep up practice with. But we are back for another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Galasfer coming right after you, right here from the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, and do whatever you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Lakerholics.com, because these guys really need some support right now. Also, the great folks at Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source, plus our good friends at the Hoopheads Podcast Network, who have a ton of NBA-related podcasts, which you should check out. It is sincerely appreciated. I'm going to try this again and see if we can do it one more time. I want to go ahead and make sure and let everybody know that the game on Tuesday afterwards, everybody was talking about what was going on with the Lakers because they fell to the Golden State Warriors. But people kept saying, it's okay. It's okay. It's just one game. There are 82 games in the season. Everything will be fine on Friday when they meet up against Phoenix, and everything will be A-okay. A-okay. Well, just like the song is A-okay, it wasn't so A-okay, as the Lakers got destroyed on the defensive end and really couldn't produce anything in the second and third quarters as they were manhandled by the Pheonix Suns 115-105. Chris Paul just controlled the flow of the game every which way he could. The Lakers had no answers for him on the defensive end. And on the offensive end, LeBron and AD were effective, but just didn't have the kind of games that were really outstanding like they did. But it got no support again, or little support, even though Westbrook did have a slightly better game today. Just slightly better. Still not the kind of things that we need. Plus, the rest of the group did not really have a great game. But again, the defensive end is really a lot of problems right now. People were at each other's throat. AD and Dwight Howard, and during the timeout where they were going at each other, pushing and shoving, it really wasn't a pretty sight. Frank Vogel getting teased, but nothing seemed to inspire the Lakers until the very last quarter when they made a solid charge just to keep it within shouting distance. And here today to talk about the game are two great guests indeed. They're my fellow compadres, who are, I guess, maybe fellow shoulders to cry on at Lakerholics.com. First shoulder to cry on is a good man indeed. You got to catch his article, his latest one, on the first game of the season at 5 Things. It is Jamie Sweet, who he was going to go ahead throughout the entire program and just say, wow. But please, instead of wowing, I think you should just go ahead and talk about what's going on.
I might drop a couple wows. I might just drop a couple wows.
Call you Owen Wilson.
I'm cool with that.
Wow.
He probably has the most iconic wow in Hollywood if you think about it.
Oh, you know it.
I was
before I threw you off of the wow.
That's all right. No, we were joking around with Tom before we went live about how, and we as expected, he came in and said it's only the second game, man.
I told you this during the game that he would come and say this.
No, I know that, but that's a sword that swings both ways, in that it's only the second game, and it's looked pretty unraveled at this point, on both on and off the floor. You know, if you're if AD and Dwight are fighting on the bench, and LeBron is taking a whole playoff to yell at the Phoenix bench, and guys are chirping at one another, spending more time talking to the refs than they do playing defense. Frank Vogel has a lot of work cut out for him right now. He's got a mighty mountain to climb to turn this into something that looks like a team that can just compete. I'm not talking about anything other than competing at this point. This team isn't playing hard at all. They look like they're waiting for the foul call. They're waiting for somebody to hit a miracle shot. They're just waiting. And they're not playing with action, and they're not playing with force. They've gotten their rear ends handed to them in the paint 2 games in a row by teams that are supposed to be shooting teams, jump shooting teams that are killing you from the outside. So we've spent all off season, like, whoa, what's going to happen to our perimeter defense? But it's actually our just our complete and total defensive effort that is non-existent. It doesn't matter if AD is playing center, doesn't matter if DeAndre Jordan's playing center, doesn't matter who is in there. Nobody is playing inspired or intelligent or impactful defense of any kind of sort. And if Frank can't get these guys to do that, then you got to start to wonder why you need him. Because he's supposed to be a defense first coach. And so if this team can't play any kind of meaningful defense, and it hasn't shown that ability yet, not for 48, not even what's for a half. I'll settle for a half of defense at this point. Not like a quarter, like, the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, like, oh gosh, we don't want to look like
they did that. They did that the last game. They played great
I know.
in the first half.
When the
89.5 defensive rating.
No, it's going to be, it's awful.
First half of the season.
Yeah, it's awful.
I mean,
89.5 is elite defense.
Well, that second quarter, guys, this is the second game in a row. The second quarter has been the undoing for the team. They got killed in this second quarter, 34-18, just abysmal. At times, the offense did not look like it was going anywhere near an even flow. And then on the defensive end, the switching, the matchups, just the fact that Carmelo Anthony constantly got himself involved in situations where he really needed to go ahead and get himself out of, and as far as the defense end, because they are targeting him on each and every timeout. I know that jokingly we thought at the time Tom was going to suggest that Austin Reeves should maybe play a more significant role and even possibly start. I'm not thinking that's so crazy right now, because out of all the different players that were on the game that played today, he was the most effective as a plus 17. Avery Bradley, unfortunately, and again, he's just back new to the team, so I don't want to be too hard on the kid, but he was minus 25. Just 0 points, not even effective at all on the defensive end as well. Malik Monk, after initially starting off hot, ended up scoring 7 points. Carmelo did score 16, but my gosh, you trade so much on the defensive end. I don't know. I don't have all the answers right now as far as for this particular lineup. Kendrick Nunn, hopefully he'll get back soon, but it's talked about 2 or 3 weeks. Wayne Ellington, another week or so for him as well, possibly. So we could see them out for at least another significant portion of time. But here today to talk about the game as well is a good man indeed. He is the mastermind behind Lakerholics.com. Please read his awesome articles, which hopefully will not trend more angrier in the days to come. Hopefully it will just be like he says, it's just 2 games.
It is just 2 games, Gerald.
It is Laker Tom. Go ahead.
I tell you, the one thing that I would say that I really did find bothersome was the fracas on the bench between AD and Dwight.
They were hugging each other just about a year ago.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
But it's the kind of thing that happens on the surface, like the little tip of an iceberg, that you don't know whether there's problems underneath it. I mean, I've been a Laker fan long enough to remember Mike Brown's little quick demise as a Lakers coach, and how one little spark over here really turns into a big fire. So if there was anything really to worry about from this game, in my opinion, it was that incident.
And somewhere, I just want to say, in the Washington, D.C. area, Kyle Kuzma is smiling on Twitter and letting everybody know about
it. The other day.
He had a great game tonight.
Getting back to the Lakers.
25 points tonight. Just letting you know.
Yep. Getting back to the Lakers, it's the reason why I felt that was concerning. I don't find anything else that we saw. Getting beat by the Suns, who are an awfully good basketball team, who has taken it from the Lakers for years and years, and frankly, they deserve a chance to give back a little of what they've taken over the years. But the reality of these situations is that the Lakers have all of these new players, and they're trying to implement a new offense. Seeing LeBron standing there for that whole quarter, that whole play, and just, like, play without me, man. I mean, let's see how you do without me.
Checked out.
Yeah, those types of things are that there's a frustration. There's a frustration that comes from losing. There's also a frustration that comes from things not progressing as quickly and as smoothly as you thought they would progress, despite what you may say to the fans outside that this is going to take time and so forth. That now they're facing the reality of hey, what the hell, this is really going to take time. And then you get the frustration over the system, you get the frustration over fitting Russ, and you get the frustration over a problem of a defensive coach trying to figure out what to do with all of these great offensive players who can't play defense, and I think most of all is that's the concern. Is the chemistry going to be hurt by the incidents that happened today? And there are fault lines that get created from incidents like this that can eventually take a team down, Hopefully that's not going to happen. As far as the game and the developments in the game and the way that the team is playing, Russ was 2 assists away from a triple-double. That's 2 of his 2 clank shots from his fellow teammates. I thought it was interesting that Frank went to Bradley early, and I thought he played good defense early, but he just couldn't hit his shot tonight. So that really greatly affects the plus minus on his side. And I thought I liked the way that in the fourth quarter he went basically to Reeves and him with the 4 superstars, if you will, or the 4 Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers. It's an interesting lineup, and Reeves, he does the right things in all of the right times. He's got a quick shot. It's I was trying to think back that if frankly, if he reminds me of anybody, it's probably Jerry West. He has that type of a quick shot and just a general savviness about him that he's not a super athlete, but he's, and this kid is much younger than the Jerry West I remember, who was pretty dominant, a physical player. He didn't get bumped off on a shot very often, and he was more the guy who would do the punishing. But Reeves really impressed me, and I think we're going to see more of him in the rotation. And then finally, the Lakers, we knew were going into the season basically 1 to 1.5 defensive players short. The hope was that really high on Trevor Ariza being able to solve that problem, and in the injury to him and along with THT now and Ellington and now Nunn, you've already all of a sudden taken a deep team and you made them very short-handed. And it's really to, I went back and looked at the defensive stats last year, and individual defensive stats obviously are hugely dependent upon how good the team's defense is, because they're sort of a relative range between the players on the team of who's doing better. Horton Tucker is always up the top 3 or 4 defenders on a team as far as the defensive rating goes. And so we miss the size. We're missing size. And we're still going to have the problems. I think it's probably, I think it's from what we've seen early, unless something happens suddenly to change it, and it could, because it's just 2 games, man. And 2 games is such a small sample size that it really doesn't count, especially the first 2 games of the year.
Well, no, it counts in the win-loss.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're down 2-0
in the end, Gerald. You couldn't tell me the Lakers.
I'll remember that when we're fighting for a play-in spot
for the last 5 years in a row.
Oh, it's a good thing those first 2 games didn't count. We'd be tough trouble with the playoff seating if those
what
first 2 games.
What is it they say in golf? You get a mulligan. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's not.
Is this the NBA there's no mulligan?
I don't think that quite works this way in the NBA.
Like Groundhog Day, it's a version of Groundhog Day.
Okay.
We wake up to see the Lakers lose to the Suns over and over and over and over.
Okay, I can see LeBron strolling out on Staples Center half court. Okay, I'm ready to play now. Those other 2 games, that was just practice. Can we actually start the game now?
Well, hopefully they'll have one of those players-only meetings that they'll clear the air and everything.
It's only 2 games. What do we need to play?
Dwight has played terrible.
It's only 2 games.
Dwight has been making dumb fouls, and
Yeah, no, Dwight.
I mean, he's really played poorly since he's come along, and Jordan
just doesn't give you
is-
much. He just
Jordan-
doesn't give you anything.
Jordan doesn't seem to give you anything, but he manages to come out with not a bad. He managed to stay close to zero as far as his net rating goes, because
He's 100% as field goal shooting
because
because he only took one shot.
The good first quarters have helped,
Yeah.
What did he shoot in the previous game? 2 for 2? He's
2
1
for
for 1. Yeah, so he's 3 of 3 on the season. That's just great. For someone who was criticizing the entire year last year for about a center who didn't take shots, we now have a center who takes less shots
and rebounds less.
And rebounds less.
Than Andre Drummond. He's like,
the big problem with DeAndre Jordan playing.
Well, let me say this about. Hold on. Let me just say this about Andre Drummond. Doesn't he look great as a backup on Philadelphia right now?
Yes.
He's got 27 rebounds as a backup. Just think if he would have done that for the Lakers. But I digress. Go ahead, Laker Tom. Finish up.
I don't know how I could top that, Gerald. I mean, it's switching completely off of here. This is a Lakers show. What are we talking about?
I just see Drummond doing well. I see Kyle Kuzma doing well. I see Caruso. Everybody in Chicago is now anointed Caruso.
Those 2 game stats are really
impressive. They're putting a statue next to Jordan's
just 2 games, Gerald.
Then why do we need a players only meeting?
Yeah, well, there you
go. And I'll tell you something. On Sunday, man, it'll just be 3 games.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be.
This is the type of thing where you got a wall and you got dates along there, and you chart the progress of the team in your mind, and you're moving toward a goal. Okay. We saw something in the fourth quarter tonight. We saw a team that just didn't.
No, we didn't.
We saw a team that had stunk the place up, that all of a sudden came back and started to play with a little heart. And we saw 20 points off of the lead.
No, we saw a Pheonix Sun team that completely went into exhibition season mode.
Maybe, but
and then they
put their foot off the gas.
They didn't close on Austin Reeves one time. No. Go back. You talk about going back and watching the tape.
Every rally is triggered by somebody taking their foot off the gas.
Right.
Because it's human nature,
Right. But this was not a close contest. The 10-point deficit doesn't mean any. The fourth quarter, the game was over at halftime. The game was effectively over at halftime.
Yeah, the score belies the actual game result.
Yeah,
there.
but it's
you
4
talked
months
about
and 160 games plus the playoffs before these games are really going to matter.
Well, we're just going to go ahead.
It's only the 67th game, Gerald. We're only at game 67. I don't know why you're freaking out.
I will say, first off,
it's only 89.
There's a difference between 2 and 67, isn't there?
Well,
I'm not sure there is anymore.
I've got a big thank you for Laker Tom for cheering us all up right now.
Yeah, I feel so much better right now.
This could have been such a I was expecting something entirely different.
These 67 games is 2 games is the same thing.
This glass is
you should have your heart tested, man.
This is my optimism glass, Laker Tom. Do you notice that there's anything in it at
all? And remember, Jamie, you were high on this.
That's right.
You were high on this as Laker Tom.
Fill it up, man. Fill her up.
With more emptiness, there's nothing to put in it right now. I just don't see a team that's playing with any kind of cohesion or they're not playing for one another. They're not playing. Defense is one of those stats that.
They just got mentally taken out of this game by the Suns. The Suns dominated them, and they lost their composure because they're frustrated with everything.
But all of those things make me more infuriated. I'll tell you why. Because this is supposed to be a veteran team.
Not positive development.
No, but these are things that should be happening to a young team. The way we're unraveling on the floor in front of the world to watch, that's what happens to a young team. That doesn't happen to it.
That's happening to a young team or a team in discord that's going to explode.
Well, the NBA's oldest teams ever. It should not happen.
Right. You got You got Rondo. You got Melo. All these guys have been, even if they haven't won a championship, they've all been through seasons from hell on bad teams, and it's almost as if there's so many good people, and this is why if we lose on Sunday, right now, you can say like, okay, we lost to Golden State. They came out and they're on fire, and that's a team that's been together for a long time and cool. And then, you lose to Phoenix, and you can say, well, they went to the NBA Finals. They're pretty good. They're a pretty good basketball team. So if we lose to Sunday,
great continuity.
Sure, great. That doesn't change. Both of these games
both
at
of them
home
turned us into jump shooting teams. and we played right into their hands by playing all of this time with low post centers, making it hard. And we shot more jump shots.
We played fewer than 22 minutes with DeAndre Jordan. And
we shot more jump shots.
What are you talking about?
We're shooting more jump shots than we did ever before.
Do you know who probably takes the most jump shots?
LeBron James.
No, Anthony Davis. Well, yes, but also Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis isn't playing power basketball. He's not trying to take it to the
But if LeBron James is shooting 5 for 9 from 3 like he did, you can't argue with that. But with Anthony Davis,
no, I'm not arguing with it. But I also don't want to live with it because historically he's not going to shoot that well. And second of all, he's taking what the defense is giving him because we can't beat the defense because we're not putting the right combination of players on the court, and we're not running the types of. I mean, we should be pick and rolling these people to death with James and Davis. When do you ever see that play?
No,
you never do. You don't
haven't
see
seen it.
You
actually haven't seen it since he got on the team. Mean, he runs great pick and rolls with Westbrook. Davis does. Yeah. They had a couple of nice pick and roll whips.
I thought Russ played. I thought Russ played well tonight. He
I don't say well.
When you
compared to how he's been playing, yes, he played better. He played better.
He played better. He played better tonight.
He played better.
He's just got to learn to. He gets out of control in those. There's no way those. I mean, I used to have a kid that I coached that could get to the rim against anybody, but every time he did, the ball just banged off of the glass like the way that Westbrook was tonight. You know, he was just going too fast and not able to slow that ball down a lot. He must have missed 5 or 6 layups tonight. Yep. But at least I like that better than him shooting jump shots. You know, we can't. You can't ask Russell Westbrook to make major changes. He's not going to do that. He's not a fit-in guy. He's a standout guy, you know.
But on the defensive end, he is also an issue and a concern because he's just not able to play that defense you're asking for.
And when you pair him with Monk or Rondo, that's a deadly combination.
And Carmelo.
Right now we have 4 guys who are relying on.
Monk and Rondo are going to guard like Steph and Poole. Oh my God, that's just like.
Yeah, it's just a recipe right now for.
But these are the guys on the team, and this is the thing, right? Like, it's all well and good to be. This should be this way and this should be that way, but it's not those ways. It's the way.
When you bring on somebody that sucks up another $40 million off your salary, and you're reduced to is mainly getting the majority of your rest of your team with minimum contracts. Unfortunately, this may be the result, but. Guys, before we head on out, because this is going to be just a painful discussion, and we were going to talk about a lot of more cheery things, including the NBA 75, but I think we should save that for our Sunday conversation because I'll be in a better mood. But before we head on, hold on.
Can we really quickly talk about how? Wow. Can we really talk about how Doc Rivers managed to outcoach himself in the final 2 minutes of the basketball game?
I saw that, and I cannot believe he did not.
Why you didn't challenge that call? Why did he not challenge that call?
He just was looking at his clipboard. He was just filming. I was like, everybody's asking why didn't he challenge it? And he's just looking around, just right. He's getting the next play going, and I'm just like. I cannot believe that.
I mean, where were all of his assistant coaches? They would be yelling and screaming at you.
Everybody.
I mean, I can remember coaching, and I'd have like 3 or 4 assistants, and every time there was a play like that, you could never miss it because they'd even have fans in the stands yelling. You know,
it's
talented.
That's a very winnable game for Philly, and frankly, a game they needed to win based on
they choked it. They choked it. They gave up. Went on a 15-0 run. The Brooklyn Nets did.
I know. I watched the end of it. I watched every minute of the comeback. It was
me too. Yeah, I basically turned it on. No, I turned it on about halfway through the third quarter. And I was like, oh, look at Philly. You know,
playing pretty
good without Ben Simmons.
There was a charging call without a doubt, and you got to go ahead and challenge it, and they didn't. And
even to just buy yourself some time in that situation, right? Like you had a timeout. Like there's only a minute left. You're not gonna you may as well like get everybody a breather.
I mean, I don't think there's any logic to saving it. Saving it for the last 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
One or 2 more possessions, right? 3 more possessions, whatever. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
guys, it's been great talking to you. You guys have actually cheered me up, and I'm so happy that because
wait.
it was really going to be looking like a car crash. I thought for an episode, but
You mean like Robert Sarver's impending ownership status?
yeah, that's another issue for another day. We'll talk about that because that's some pretty big juicy stuff coming up there. But
Spicy.
yes. But guys, before we head on out, you guys got some great things I know on the way and already have out at Lakerholics.com. So Jamie, tell me what you got cooking at Lakerholics.com.
I've got 5 great wows coming up. Wows number 1s, 2, 3, 4, and Cincos. So I've got 5 things that'll probably drop hopefully sometime tomorrow, probably tomorrow. Hoping for a bounce back game on Sunday. If they don't win on Sunday, I expect the Frank Vogel heat to get turned up to atomic because basically you have the Spurs and Cavs before you match the Mike Brown 0-5 start that got him fired. I believe it was 0-5 or was it 0-8? I can't remember.
I think it was 0-8.
I think it was 0-8. So 0-8 is evidently the barometer for how many games the head coach in Los Angeles can lose before your job is no longer yours. I expect Genie to have already called Phil in Montana and gauged his interest in coming back and coaching this mess for one last hurrah. Go for number 12. I'm sure Phil's like, I got some fly fishing. He can't even
get up off the bench.
I know. They'd have to he wouldn't be able to go, keep Vogel, but just let Phil coach.
Well, he need a home coach and a travel coach.
That's what I was going to say. Keep Vogel. Just let Phil coach home games and run all the practices.
His knees are beyond shot, man. Don't put him through that kind of torture.
No, you need to get him a rascal. He needs a rascal. He needs a coaching rascal.
And if you think the players are angry now about the new offensive system, wait until they have to play the triangle.
Oh no! The respect and reverence they'll have for Phil.
No. Kurt Rambis is coming back. I can feel it already.
Please,
I'm kidding, Lakers fans. I'm kidding, Lakers
fans. No. Now
Scott
you've opened the door. You've opened Pandora's box. It's happening.
I already know he's got his fingertips on the Lakers organization.
Byron Scott is still alive. We can bring Baby B back. Bring back Coach Scott, man.
Brian Shaw, where are you?
They're all probably in LA hanging out, going.
Yes, they're all on the Spectrum channel.
Let me just brush up my resume real quickly.
They show up.
I'm
just letting you know I'm here.
Oh, Jesus,
I didn't see a
special consultant and personal training.
There you go. But
fantastic.
Laker Tom, I know you've got some articles coming up. You first got to go ahead and tell your Lakerholics.com crew out there, all the fans, all your supporters, like you said, it's only just 2 games.
It is only just 2 games. I actually just put an article a couple hours before the game. The Westbrook rules, how the Lakers can best optimize Russell Westbrook.
Trading him?
I had 3 rules that they need to do, which they're not following very well right now. Westbrook rule number 1 is surround him with shooters. Well, we start every game with 1 shooter, so that's not really surrounding him. But anyway, that's the problem.
LeBron's shooting 60% from 3 right now. So
Westbrook rule number 2 is surround him with defenders. Don't put him out there in the backcourt with Malik Monk or
Rajon Rondo
right
I know,
because it's going to be a disaster.
Don't play the team that we currently have.
Yeah, Westbrook rule number 3. Saw this.
Wait, Westbrook rule number 3 is let Russ be Russ. We didn't trade it for some watered down version of Russell Westbrook. We traded for the maniac, relentless, fearless guy that's going to attack the basket and bring home a triple-double. And we'll adjust around that, but he's got to be aggressive. It's partly his responsibility too. Vogel can put him out there without shooters and put him out there without defenders, but he's got to figure out some way how to make those minutes winning minutes. And he has the potential to do that, and I think they will work it out. My only fear is that the whole thing could blow up just because of internal discord that we don't know about. Because I thought that there were some signs of it with Bron today, and also with the incident between Dwight and AD. It's the team is frustrated. What are they frustrated about? Just losing, or that it's taking too long, or that the coach is making the wrong lineups, or that they're playing the wrong players. That really starts to say something about the heart of your chemistry. And teams are only going to go as far as their chemistry holds up. And we've seen a lot of teams crater before because of that. And we've seen some big name teams that people thought were going to be championship teams fall apart and not be able to survive the chemistry test. I thought everything was pretty honky-dory with the Lakers chemistry before tonight. So that was quite a shock to me. And I am genuinely concerned about that. You add into that Vogel only getting a 1-year extension, and and the team, I don't think there's any question at this point in time. I don't know where you were on the meter before we lost the first 2 games and before we struggled defensively, but not re-signing Caruso is turning out to be a bigger move than I originally thought it was going to be, simply because we haven't been able to replace him, and
But
all the guys are injured.
I wonder who thought.
The worst mistake of the summer.
But in the end, man, it is just 2 games.
We're only 78 games into the season. There's still time to turn this around. You guys have to keep hope.
Well, let's here's the natural question: when do you worry?
I worry.
I
started worrying in preseason.
Let me ask the question since I raised it.
Okay.
Would you worry if we're 0-4?
Yes.
Where on the 1 to 10 level is 0-4?
I worry, Laker
Right
Tom.
now-
I worried when we were 0-1 in exhibition season.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
So
but
you're asking the wrong.
You guys don't count because you start worrying.
Then why are you asking
before
the
you
question?
even get out the gate?
Then why are you putting the question to the? What is this? What is this nonsense? Let me ask you a question that you shouldn't answer because
When would
I'm
I
going to
worry?
answer because
Here's what
I
you
want
really-
it right. That's the
Here's
answer
what
to your
people
question.
really want to know.
Right,
When
this
did
is
I
what-
worry?
Here's the real
Don't worry
question,
if we
Tom.
were
When do you worry?
Because we would have lost to 2 lousy teams, whereas right now at 0-2, we've lost to 2 very good teams,
I think my face
including the
just
second
changed.
best team in the league, according to the records.
Tom, that was by far
If
the
we
most
were,
incredible thing
if
I've
we
ever seen.
were, if we were 3-7, I would worry. I'd really be worried then.
Let me ask you. Can I ask
If
you a
we
question?
were,
No. Okay.
if we were 8-12, I would be concerned. That's 20 games in. So I guess 30 games in is probably where I would be my Jamie's 67 games in. I guess mine would be 30 games in.
I won't be worried till
games
game
in, I would-
114.
If we were 15-15 after 30 games, I'd be worried.
So you're saying, you're saying that these games not only do not count, but whatever Jamie and I says don't count.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Okay.
Well, no.
Because you literally just said, "Let me ask you a question. You guys
one more
don't count.
thing.
Let me answer the question that I asked
Well, no,
you
the
guys."
reason I said you
And-
guys don't count is because for people to communicate and have a measuring stick to compare what they think about situations, you have to have the same set of data. This is like the Republicans and the Democrats.
No,
You
I'm
know,
not, I don't think any of us are disputing the data. I think
I
think
I think
we're
counting
what is the
something
truth?
that everything
The truth
else
is,
on that end
it's only
that
2
people always
games.
are arguing about there.
but
The
what,
truth is, it's only 2 games.
how many minutes of good basketball have you seen this team put
Even
together
though it's fair
at
and square.
any
Game
point?
one, the first half was
The first
30 minutes
quarter.
of good basketball.
The first half is only
First
24
half,
minutes.
They had an 89.5 defensive rating. They led 59.
So that's
53.
12. So what you're telling me is that is
okay. So
24
in the
minutes.
first game, we had 12 minutes, half of the game. In the
So you're
second
saying-
game, I'll take the first quarter and the fourth quarter.
Great. So over the course of, and I'm counting exhibition as well, to be honest. I maybe I didn't make that
Well,
clear. But after 7 games of
But
this
those
team,
games don't count.
but they do because they built the foundational habits that we
We're
see
0-8.
happening on the.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to change all my thinking.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with that.
We're
But,
0-8. I just
all right,
checked.
all right.
in
guys,
terms
all
of
right.
And I just checked
in
and
terms
we're
of
only
productive
0-2.
in terms of watching productive basketball,
We're only 0-2,
yes, we're
Jamie.
0-8.
I've got it right here.
I
on
know.
ESPN.
But remember, you said these games don't count, so it doesn't matter. it's the beginning of the
I
season
said
on
the
Sunday.
first 6 games didn't count because we were preseason. These games, I didn't say they don't count. I said they don't matter.
And that, Jamie, what you say doesn't count as well. Oh, and by the way, hold on. By the way,
my misunderstanding, sir.
by the way,
My
buddy,
misunderstanding.
by the way,
There's a
on
big
top of
difference
everything
between
else,
don't count and don't matter.
by the way,
Obviously.
everything else. Just wanted
Oh
to
my
mention
gosh.
that before we head on out, Buddy Hield scored 24 points. Just wanted to let you know.
Well, I mean, that's what he does. That doesn't bother me.
Yes.
You know, Buddy Hield wouldn't fix what ails the Lakers right now.
Well, he would have along with Malcolm Brogdon or some of the other changes that we had suggested over the course of the summer instead of Russell Westbrook.
That will be the if the Lakers don't make the playoffs, which I doubt will happen, but if they don't win, in the playoffs,
God, you got us missing the playoffs now.
No,
Admiral Akbar.
Hey,
I tell you,
look
you
at
can't
the West.
538 Sports has
Admiral Akbar.
538 Sports. Hold on. 538 Sports.
No matter how many games.
But heading into the season, 538 Sports did project the Lakers as missing the playoffs. I just wanted to make sure.
538 Sports Lakers projections are always the most laughable ones.
Regardless, that's not what I said. But it doesn't matter anyway.
One thing I want to ask:
good game, everyone. Good game.
Who do we play? Who do we play Sunday?
Grizzlies will probably lose Sunday as well.
And who do we play after the Grizzlies?
Then we play San Antonio, which we have a prayer to beat because they don't.
And then Oklahoma City is on the horizon,
and then OKC. So there's a chance that we can.
And they want to lose.
So you think we're going to go 1-4, Jamie? Is that what you're thinking? Or 2-3?
I want to see. I want to see what
2 and 3
say.
sounds like your number.
No, I did. Well, if you want me to answer the question, you maybe ought to let me try.
Okay.
I was going to say I'd like to see how people talk and what the body language is, both after the post gamer tonight and after the practice tomorrow.
Hopefully there wasn't a fight in the dressing room, locker room at the end of the night.
We'll find out. We'll find out. The fact that Dwight stayed on the bench for the second half, I thought meant that at the very least, they were willing to put on a dog and pony show.
That foul that he made out on the perimeter for 2 points was.
I can't point to one good Dwight Howard moment yet. I can't.
The bigger question should be: should Rob Pelinka keep his job? That should be a bigger question we need to start asking.
These are still
these aren't things that you discuss after 2 games.
That's right, because these games don't count or matter, or they matter but they don't count. I can't keep up anymore.
But one thing that did jump out at me, one stat that jumped out at me was points in the paint. 52-26.
2 games in a row.
2 games in a row.
This is what you get from going big.
But we're not going big. This is the thing you continue to ignore. Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan played less than 22 minutes of the entire basketball game. So it's not Dwight and DeAndre's fault that we're giving up points in the paint like they're lottery tickets, or raffle tickets. Rather. This is the team defense. Their fault? Yes, it's the team defense.
They're playing 40% of the minutes at center, along with Anthony Davis.
And are we losing those minutes? No. So I'm waiting.
What minutes are we losing?
The Dwight Howard minutes.
The 22 minutes with AD at center.
The Dwight Howard minutes we certainly.
The Dwight Howards we lost this game, and they were not great the other game. I don't know. I was excited to bring Dwight back right now.
And DeAndre Jordan in the third quarter was also.
We're not dominating. We're not dominating underneath.
No, we're not dominating anywhere. There's no dominating.
They're dominating the paint on us.
I know.
There's
here's
a lot
the formula of the first 2 games is we've taken more threes than the opponent, but the opponent has killed us in the paint.
I mean, we made 44% of our threes today.
I never have been a volume 3-point shooter advocate, so you won't hear me defending this insane.
But Utah does it, and they lead the Western Conference last year, and they're 2-0 this year. So,
but that's because that comes from the top down. Quinn Snyder has always wanted to play that way. Frank Vogel does not want to play that way. This is a whole. You put it together. I mean, who were you? It was okay. No, it was Detroit that you described as the land of mismatched toys, or Orlando. I can't.
I think it was Orlando.
But
one of the teams,
my point is that everything that we did to win the championship, we started going away from the instant we won the championship, and it has been mind-boggling to me.
All last year trying to not have AD play center. That's why we have
also
lineup.
Right, but also
we paid 10%.
I mean, some of that was due to him being busted up and broken down, but I will agree that was part of it. But also, now suddenly we're supposed to be a team that doesn't dominate in the paint or a team that doesn't play good defense and we're supposed to just outscore people from the 3-point line, that was never going to be the recipe that this Laker team was going to use to win. And so if this is the vision, it's a terrible one.
What we're seeing is a distorted version of our offense, simply because teams are able to. It's become so bad now that we could put 5 Buddy Heels out there and every team in the league would probably still sag in and collapse everybody into the paint.
Every team is going to do that.
We're the Lakers.
Right. Every team is going to do that because we have LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. It doesn't matter what 3 other guys are out there. It really doesn't. I mean, I know we can talk about 5-out sets or whatever. Those are not going to fix what ails the Lakers.
You got to play smart because you can't.
That I'll agree with. We should bench DeAndre Jordan, and we should.
You just can't. You just can't take 3 talents like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook and turn them into the goddamn jump shooters.
Okay. I mean, we've done it. We've done it.
All right. Before this language gets any rougher, I do want to go ahead and thank you guys for stopping by.
Sorry, Gerald. My apologies.
No worries. That's okay. I'm just, I was going to have to separate you two like Dwight Howard and also AD there. But again, for providing us very amusing entertainment and actually making me turn 3 different colors on camera.
Oh my God.
I just want to thank you for doing that. Yes, I was just amazing indeed. But if you have any questions out there for us at Lakers Fast Break, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. You can always find Tom in the abyss known as Twitter out there for Lakers Twitter at Laker Tom.
A bright shining light in the Lakers Twitter. I will say that.
He is indeed. But guys, it's been great having you on board this time around. Appreciate you weathering through this.
And remember, it's just 2 games.
And our opinions don't matter.
And our opinions don't. Let me ask you a question I don't want you to answer.
Okay. And we mean that in a good way. We mean that if we're having fun.
Go ahead.
But yes. Okay.
Did you want me to answer? No. Okay.
Okay. Wow. But guys, I truly appreciate you being part of the show. Yes. Wow. Yes. We are going to wow through the rest of this podcast. But thank you so much for joining us right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. We'll go ahead and see you on Sunday after the Memphis Grizzlies game. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And thanks for being part of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Wow.